Thank y'all.
Thank you,
I
Ron.
appreciate it, and y'all have a blessing. All right.
All right. Now we'll just wait on into reports from staff, and we'll start off with Ron.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. Good evening. We had a very busy but successful month during August. Both the water and the wastewater treatment facilities operated in full compliance. No permanent issues there. The monthly total finished water flow from the water treatment plant was 16.36 million gallons, and the treated water effluent total at the wastewater treatment plant was 9.14 million gallons. Pretty standard maintenance spending this month. Sorry about the back and forth for the last few. As a reminder, our annual maintenance space gap budget is $249,556.08. At the wastewater treatment, or excuse me, at the water treatment plant, we spent $1,026.46. At the wastewater treatment plant, we spent $6,042.35. And at Public Works, we spent $4,467.92 for a grand total of $11,536.73. That brings our year-to-date expenses to $66,504.39, with a remaining annual budget of $183,051.69. That's broken down as always on the appendices that follow. I do have a few staffing updates that aren't on here. We spoke last time that Orlando Lopez has been brought in as the ORC of the water treatment facility. He's gonna start working into the rotation there as well. He's not listed on there, should be. And then we, since the writing of this, have 2 openings at the Public Works facility. So if you know anybody looking for an honest living, we are officially hiring again. We are filling those vacancies with temporary labor with the local temporary staffing agency. As far as the project highlights and look ahead at the water treatment plant, we are focused heavily on housekeeping, as well as the main focus outside of the day-to-day operations, which is the sodium hypochlorite project. As we discussed last month, we're going to be looking into bringing different styles of pumps and likely upsizing those from the original design. So continuing on with that, at the wastewater treatment plant, we've had a heavy couple months for maintenance, but the critical equipment at the wastewater treatment plant is all up and running. Thank you for Mr. Pace for pointing out the one red square that we have on our equipment for number 2 clarifier. That is in service. That is an error on the report. All the critical equipment is back in service there. And then for Public Works, the obvious, we are entering into fall. So now picks up our busy season for leaves, brush collection, and trying to stay ahead of that and hit the ground running there. The more recent ones are the sinkholes that you see on Main Street, fixing those, which both required water line replacements and workarounds to combat the sinkholes there, and then tying in the finishing touches to the raw water intake project. Hames Brothers Construction has indicated that they're going to be picking back up on that as the intake structure equipment scheduled to be delivered here in the next couple weeks. That concludes the report for August. Any questions?
About the fire hydrant at the railroad track.
I know we were looking at trying to get that line isolated. I think we made some progress. I'll let Malcolm and Joseph give an update on that.
I'm afraid somebody's gonna steal it.
Yeah, we're gonna see if we can get Riddle Construction to install it for us. That water line is pretty deep. It's below our 4-foot threshold.
Yeah.
But as soon as I can get him up here to give me a quote,
Okay.
so we can get it installed.
Somebody might carry it on.
Yeah.
I have a question. I know I'm probably not supposed to ask one, but, do we know why we keep getting these sinkholes everywhere? I mean, I don't know, it just seems like there's a lot of them lately.
Yeah, I can't answer that. I know typically sinkholes are caused by I don't want to say a failure, but a fissure in the rock layer. So it could be hundreds or thousands of years old, and sediment just builds up on it, and groundwater will move underneath of it and work away the ground from underneath. Major rain events, which we've had several of this summer, can cause rapid increases and decreases in the water table, which can fill it up and then pull the drain out of it quick. That's likely what's going on. I don't know if it's a historical issue, but Usually that's it. In this region, there's a lot of caverns, a lot of caves. It's something that's common. I'm not sure why they're all happening at once. My guess is the heavy storms we saw with the dry periods would at least contribute to that.
All right, I have a couple of questions. Our information packets, I noticed the last couple of months, we haven't been getting those until we get here at the meeting. Is there something we can do to help you get those to us in advance?
No, really the holdup on that end is our financials, finalized on the 15th. So we have to expedite everything to get that. With that being said, we are working through trying to move that up a week for this location.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could have them when we get our regular packet, so we have time to review.
Completely understand.
And tell me again about the, intake screen project, how that's going.
So, and I guess we can tag team this, but the construction project, to my knowledge, is going on as scheduled. What happened is Hames Brothers hit a wall in activity, if you will, where they're waiting on equipment. So they got everything done that they could. The only things that are being held up right now is a tie-in for a couple of the new water lines, which were being delayed because we were unable to get a full isolation on the water line. There's a resolution to that. It's not a cheap one, and that's to put what they call insert valves. They basically cut in a valve on a live line. We can isolate further up, but that would also isolate Columbia Forest products, and we're trying to work with them to avoid any downtime there.
Yeah, I understood they were down this past week, and was hoped that we could connect with them then to try to.
As far as Hames Brothers,
Construction.
yeah, as far as Hames Brothers, I can't speak to their plans,
That's
but.
my mistake, I thought that was Infomark was gonna be doing that.
No, we are trying to work with both of them to get this resolved ASAP.
And I understand that the, intake valve could be a $65,000 expense. Is that about right, to your knowledge?
I'm not aware of any additional, charges on that, so if that is the case, that hasn't been brought to my attention.
Okay, that's what the, girl from Dewberry said, that it could be an additional $65,000.
Are you talking about the inserted valves? Yes, that is correct, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the intake.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're just under, 33,000 apiece, so,
Maybe one on each side.
yeah, that's correct.
But you answered my question, Dr. Hyde.
The deal with the Columbia Forest last week, and I talked to them myself, and they told me they were gonna be shut down, we could do anything we needed to do. When I shut them down, that question is, what in the world are you doing? Well, you told me not to do anything I need to do. He said, we're still working, we got hot work going on. Therefore, we still couldn't do anything we needed to do, we done it anyway to try to take care of it.
Okay, good.
As far as inserted valves go, we're trying to avoid that, cause they're $30,000 a piece to put an inserted valve in to abandon. So we're trying to avoid doing that. We wanna save the town money and do things properly, you know, that's ridiculous. So, yes, we can isolate, I'm pretty sure we can isolate, but we'll have to isolate Little Street all the way back through to the water plant. So that's gonna be a undertaking, and I'll get back with Haynes again to try to schedule something to where, I don't know what I'm gonna do back Columbia, might tell Columbia Forest. So, that's gonna be the issue.